What a crazy ass week. Well, hello, my friends. It's been a while. Well, over a week ago, I came down with the worst case of the flu that I think that I've ever had in my life that was not COVID related. In short, my wife and I were both bedridden for damn near the entire week with an annoying fever and even more annoying cough that, well, I'm still dealing with as we speak. But you don't want to hear about my trivial illness issues, I'm sure, so let's get on with it, shall we? Because, well, I have quite a bit to cover. Well, nobody ever said that it would be easy dealing with the new DCU being ran by James Gunn and his seemingly non-existent partner Peter Safran. Or at least I would assume that's what people are now saying, because there seems to be mass confusion going on over at WBDC where three of the directors that are concerned. Well, two directors and one CEO slash director slash producer slash writer, mainly James Gunn, Matt Reeves, and Andy Muschietti. Now, ever since James Gunn got his sticky little fingers and or mitts into DC, it's been a guessing game as to just who will be cast for major DC characters. And by major, I mean Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, Flash, etc., etc. Now, obviously, we know that David Corenswet is now Superman. And so the big DC casting guessing game now is just who will be the Batman. The Dark Knight has been teased in 2 episodes of Creature Commandos. In the first episode, Batsy, well, he looked a lot like Robert Pattinson's version as well as far as the collar and the cowl ears go. But in the second one, well, he certainly is not Pratt Bat. He's far too big, he's far too bulky and stockier, if you will. And if I have to be honest, well, I think the suit looks closer, well, Batfleck's. Now, do I think it's Batfleck? Hell no. I still think Batman's going to be played by Chris Pratt, but more on that later. Now, for months, people have speculated as to whether or not if Matt Reeves' version of Batman would ever transition over to the new DCU. And there are many who would like to see that happen, which is plain to see by all the hoopla about it on social media. And I personally believe that the powers that be over at WB would like to see that happen as well, especially from a cash grab standpoint. Would it make headlines? Of course it would. With thousands of gun babies dance aimlessly into the streets, you bet your last box of Hot Pockets they would. And why not? Just because I think it's a bad idea, why shouldn't others be happy about it? But I do. I think it's a bad idea. I think it's a horrible, terrible, awful idea. It would tarnish what Matt Reeves has created. The dark, sinister, nearly apocalyptic world that he has built the Batman and the Penguin series around as a DC world that of like we've never seen before. And as far as I'm concerned anyways, it has no place being mixed in with James Gunn's Glee version of the new DCU. And from what I can tell, from what I've been reading these past few days, it's starting to look like more than one major player in the Who Will Be Batman spinning wheel is thinking the same thing. On January 3rd at the Golden Globes, Josh Horowitz asked Matt Reeves if it's been discussed about Pattinson actually becoming the DCU Batman, and Reeves said this, well, sure. Yeah, I mean, it really comes down to whether or not it makes sense. What's been great is there was a story that I wanted to tell that we're calling the Epic Crime Saga, which is the thrust of what we wanted to do. It's been important to me to be able to play that out. James and Peter have been really great about that, and they're letting us do just that. Now, nowhere does he say it's going to happen or that he even wants it to happen, even though thousands of people heard that in their minds that he did. To me, he's simply saying, I want to finish when I started. Let me do that, and maybe we'll see. It's also important to remember that even James Gunn himself has stated that it was indeed talked about, but it was ultimately decided against. That in itself tells me that even James Gunn thinks the idea is not sound, and he just wants Reeves to get on with the Batman 2 so he can introduce his version of the Caped Crusader. That, well, the man's a control freak. And if that isn't enough proof in the old proverbial DC pudding, well, Andy Muschietti, you remember him, the guy that made a mockery out of the Flash movie and is slated to direct Batman Brave and the Bold. In an interview following Reeves, he went so far as to say that it's quite obvious excuse me, that Matt Reeves' Batman is not part of the new DC universe. That releasing 2 Batman films simultaneously would be counterproductive. DC is creating a strategy to ensure that the Batman 2 and Brave and the Bold don't conflict with each other. This is all assuming if Muschietti is even still in the loop, because according to him, he hasn't even talked to Gunn since Superman began filming. Hell, that's damn near a year ago. So what can we gather from all of this? Well, I think anyways that Matt Reeves wants to continue doing what he was told he could do. Finish Batman 2, maybe 3, and then as the old saying goes, take things from there. Much to the dismay of WB, I'm sure, James Gunn would prefer to debut his own Batman. The Batman that will be used in the DCU from here on out. The one that will be at the center of Batman Brave and the Bold. Muschietti? He's simply waiting for a green light, a flare, a smoke signal, hell, anything, so he knows that he's still involved and can make some kind of a move. He's gone on record as saying that Brave and the Bold's been delayed, and so he's going to start another project. James Gunn, on the other hand, has gone on record saying that it's not delayed. It's just more Gunn said, Reeves said, Muschietti said, blah, blah, blah. Now, personally, I don't think Muschietti should be the one to direct Brave and the Bold, especially with the mess that he made out of The Flash. Now, yes, I'm sure WB and Gunn and Saffron had a bit to do with how that film turned out. You'll never convince me otherwise. They all wanted to end the DCEU, kill it dead. Well, and they did just that. But to hear Muschietti's explanation as to why The Flash failed, well, I just don't even understand what the hell he was talking about. In a recent interview, he said that it failed because it failed to hit with all 4 quadrants of moviegoers. Men over 25, men under 25, women over 25, women under 25. Jeez, when you spend $200 million making a movie, WB wants you to bring even your grandmothers to the theaters. Muschietti, dude, man, the movie failed because the movie sucked. It made a mockery out of the Holy Trinity, made Flash a blithering idiot, or should I say blithering idiots. Michael Keaton's return as Batman was boring, and the use of CGI was a disaster, and it was blasphemous in regards to the late Christopher Reeve. If I'm right, and until I see the definitive proof, otherwise, I believe that I am. Eventually, Chris Pratt will become James Gunn's Batman, and if so, Muschietti's on his way out, and Gunn will take over as director of Brave and the Bold. You see, I think Gunn had Pratt in mind from day one, just as he had Corenswet in mind for Superman back when he auditioned for Adam Warlock in Guardians 3, just as he had Millie Alcock pegged to be Supergirl and Jason Momoa to be Lobo back in 2022. I could be right, I could be wrong, but either way, I don't think we will know anything until well after the world knows if Superman's going to be the great success story that everyone is hoping that it will be. If it is, then Gunn can do whatever his 3 sizes too small heart desires. Until that time, we simply wait and speculate. And speaking of Superman, Gunn released a new still, the Big Blue Boy Scout. Make of it what you will. Now, a lot's been said about his hair. Me, I could care less. The messy hair just goes with the messy suit as far as I'm concerned. And in the I told you so department, well, kinda, sorta, it looks like we will indeed be getting another trailer, or preview, if you will, of the Superman movie on, ta-da, February 9th, just as I predicted the day of the Super Bowl. But instead of the Super Bowl, it will be during the Puppy Bowl? That's right, James Gunn and his dog Ozu will debut the clip during Puppy Bowl 2025 with one lucky pooch winning the Crypto Super Play Award. He will also be sending a special message to his viewers. Knowing Gunn, hell, that could be anything. And so it seems that Gunn is going for the cute puppy dog tie-in once again, I'm assuming, because it seemed to work so well for the Superman teaser trailer. Now, will this lead to an official trailer, possibly during the Super Bowl? Who knows? Could be. One thing's for sure that I've said this here before. James Gunn knows how to milk the cute ones. Baby Groot, Baby Rocket, and now cute, fluffy little Crypto. It's almost like the man is working for Disney. Well, that's it for now, my friends. If you have any thoughts, comments, and or concerns about anything I've covered today, feel free to leave them in the section down below. And if you liked today's show, why don't you think about hitting that like button and subscribing so you don't miss the next one. Thanks for stopping by. God bless and sucks.